Hello. Anyway, I got asked by a Russian woman to give some information into Ahrefs or how exactly you rate work. Sorry, I always get Ahrefs specific on A at start. But anyway, let's get into it. So this is a few of my sites. One of the things you should remember, which is quite important to Ahrefs, is it is not always going to give you the right keyword details. This can be simply Ahrefs is not getting enough information about your site. It could be your server's too busy, your site's not popular enough. It doesn't really matter for why. But Ahrefs is still a fantastic tool, software, or whatever you want to call it. For example, on that site there, that site actually itself, even though I'm doing some work on it, is actually ranking for, at the moment, at least 20 keywords. So, this is just some basic information into it. So what exactly is the point or purpose of what's known as the health score? The health score itself is basically Ahrefs' way to tell you how to improve your on-page factors. So if we get, say, 100 score, 99 scores, something like that, will that actually increase our rankings in Google or increase our money or our clients' money? It's kind of an open to debate area. I think it would definitely do some good to your user experience, but whether it will improve your rankings or not is still open to debate. I have improved the rankings of quite a few sites according to their score. I did not notice any direct ranking improvements as a whole. It could potentially increase your stay time if your site's in a really horrendous state. That is definitely plausible for it to do that. But whether it will actually improve your rankings or not, I would say it's an open to debate sort of area at the moment. So anyway, let's have a look at this site here. This is a site I've had for a wee while, but let's get into it either way. It's basically an arcade site in case you're wondering. So let's just have a look at here and see what we can learn. I'm just using the free part of this account just to show you this is a free one, since someone asked me to focus basically here in the free parts of it. I'll just read this out in case you can't see. The website wasn't fully crawled. The crawl has reached a maximum depth level from the seed, and the website is not being crawled completely. To crawl deeper levels of the site, increase the amount of depth from the seed and process and start a new crawl. You might also want to check why some of your errors on your website are considering this. Now, we could do these sort of things. It's your choice if you want. I don't really see the point at the moment, but it's something you might consider. We can also print a PDF if we want to, but you have to have a pay account to it. We can see the amount of internal ones. According to that is 5,327. Resources at the moment is 1,962. So according to that, my site itself has got a score of 77. It's got, according to that, errors 2,490. It's got warnings 9,109. Notices 8,530. It's got crawled at the moment 49,616, uncrawled 4,066, blocked by robots 114. So, why could it be useful or important for if you've got a robot text or something blocking? It could be potentially by accident you stuck a code in, your plugin did, or something else. So you might find if you remove your robot text or use this information to teach you things, you might find by accident you've disindexed or put a robot text in place, which then stops one of your post pages or part of your website from being indexed by Google. It does happen more often than you think. For example, Yoast itself has actually something in a place which can cause problems with regarding to index if you don't know what you're doing. That's one of the reasons I don't use Yoast itself, but some people like Yoast. Do what works for you as a whole. So we can see the ones with errors, ones with error, ones without errors. We can learn things like meta tag description empty, pages no fault and default incoming internal links, pages no fault and incoming internal links, duplicate pages without chronicle, orphan pages. In case you don't know what orphan pages, the best way I can explain it to you is it's kind of like how, if you like, in reality, if an orphan generally doesn't really know, unfortunately, her parents or parent, that's basically where the term comes from. You basically have no links coming into it to support it or to boost its ranking. Pages no outgoing links, not indexable. We could work on that. But hypertext markup lang altitude missing, we can work on that. Open graph tags incomplete, we can work on that. page has links to redirect, we can fix that. We can fix the free XX redirect. We can also learn more about hypertext markup, HTTP status, distribution, or success, or redirections. Learning about our hypertext markup language percentage, our images, our JavaScript, our CSS, and other files. We can also learn about how deep the HTTP status codes are by depth level, if we want to here. This tells us things about internal URLs, uncrawl links, anchor text. Anchor text, in case you don't know, is just something like this. For example, let's say we're trying to rank for a car site. We might make our anchor text car. We might make it best red car, for example, purposes, some potential anchor texts we could use. Image reference with an alt text. Alt text, in case you don't know, is a little bit of description you basically put down to help basically people, if I remember correctly, who are blind or have sight problems, be able to read your site. So if they can't see the site, for what I can understand, it basically tells them, or software does, this is a red car. If it's a dog, this is a such and such dog breed, maybe a husky. It gives them a description. It basically allows people with sight problems to basically be able to understand what's going on if they can't see for whatever reason. So it can be smart to put your alt texts in place. I know people argue it's going to basically do big ranking boosts. I wouldn't say it's going to do big ranking boosts, but it helps people with sight problems, so you're best to do it. And in some cases, it can get you into trouble if you don't have it. So I would recommend you do alt texts either way. I respect it can take a bit of time and effort, but unfortunately, it's just one of the things when it comes to how SEO itself works as a whole. So let's go into all issues now. Let's see if we can learn anything more. So if we've got any no index pages, we might say, wait, I've got this no index page. I should have this index. So we can use this thing to say, so click here, view affected URLs, and we can learn things about this site. We might find we by accident index something, disindex something wrong, our VA did, our staff member did, or someone else. So we can use this thing. We could say, wait, I should have that. We shouldn't obviously have that because it's a login page. We might say, oh, I should have that. I should have that. But we're looking at this thing to see, is there anything which should be indexed? I don't have an RSS feed at the moment on the site, so it makes sense I got this index. So that's right. That's a good idea. I might say, oh, I want this as an index or something like that. But what we're looking for is any of these things which are potentially of use. And in case you don't know what that means, I'll just read it out to you. That's basically page rating. That's basically something which they grade and score depending on different factors. In simplified terms, the higher your PR score or page rank according to that, the in theory better quality the post page or part of the website should be in theory. It seems pretty good as a whole from what I've looked into it so far. Now let's see what else we can learn. Let's go into now the other parts of the issues and see if we can find anything else that's going wrong. Page has no fall and do fall. I'm not going to do every single thing in this site. It's just a kind of like a basic sort of video into Ahrefs as a whole. Page has no fall and do fall in coming internal links. So I could potentially work on all these things and that could improve my ranking. Internal linking does boost the rankings of a site, so I would recommend you do it. Now, if you've got a big site, I respect it could take you a bit of time, depending on how busy you are in general. It could take you a full day, it could take you a week, or even a month, depending on the size of it. If you can't do it yourself, I would strongly recommend you pay someone to do it for you. Get a plugin, get a software to help you, whatever you do. Try and get all your posts and pages as much internal linking as possible, which allows basically link juice to spread around, allowing you to boost your ranking by using the authority of the website itself. So we could say that's got a little word count. Maybe we can include more words, say 50, 100, something like that. So this is basically giving us all different tips of what we can do to improve our website as a whole. So if we didn't want, for some reason, links to a redirection, we could change that over. Page is only one default incoming internal link, so I could maybe add another in, or you could. HTTP page has internal links to HTTPS, so I could potentially change that into full HTTPS. Google itself generally prefers HTTPS in regards to ranking now. It is an actual ranking factor now. Some people argue it's not worth it, but it does make a slight difference. You can as well, and sometimes in more competitive niches. For example, let's just say your HTTPS just for argument's sake, costs $50. You can if you're in a very competitive niches. Let's just say your competitors, just for argument's sake, HTTPS is worth say 1,000. Some people will spend that money or business as well. That can, in some cases, allow him or that business to overtake you. So it is worth looking into if you want to enter high competitive niches, that kind of stuff. So I got a slow page. That means I've got to work on my speeding of my site and do things to improve it, such as using a Quacken plugin, fixing CSS issues, hypertext markup languages. Have I got too many plugins? Maybe I can replace 5 with 1, 5 with 2. Think about these sort of things. Speed itself is an important ranking factor now, and it also makes it better for your site, even if it's not. If you can get your site loading faster, people will jump on. I think it was Amazon which worked out if by them decreasing their load time by, I think it was 1 or 2 seconds, that allowed them to make, I think, something like an extra $1 million sales a month. So it's something you should consider. It is important. So according to that, first to byte, loading time. So it's okay, I suppose. I can get it a bit better. But we should be looking at these things. How can we make it faster? How can we make things better? And that's what you should be considering. Let's have another look at some of our issues. I'm not going to go into everything. Well, I'll finish off the issues, and that should be good enough. I'll talk about a wee bit of link building in it as well before I end this video. Okay, let's go with all issues. Let's see if we can learn in here. All issues will basically show every single thing Ahrefs considers an issue, a problem for whatever reason. So we could work on that, we could work on these things, we work on that sort of stuff. We can work on that, as I already said, we can work on these things. So we can learn quite a lot of things by just reading this and studying it. It depends how far you want to take these sort of issues or problems, but it's good to understand these things or learn things. Let's go now errors and then warnings. I'll go into a little bit of link building after. So that tells us these are errors it's reporting. So these are things we could potentially work on as a whole. Let's go with warnings now, see what we can learn now. So I could remove some of these I consider which are value. If I've got a no follow page, I can make it into a new follow page potentially. Page has no outgoing links, I can change that, and so on. So it's teaching us what to do, how to improve our site stuff, in quite an easy to follow sort of system. Let's see if we can learn anything from notices now. Again, some of similar things, but we can use this to teach us some things. Meta tag description too short, so we could add more words, add in 10, 15, whatever you want. One of the things I'd recommend with regards to meta description, you're more wanting something which is going to draw people in. If you can draw people in with just say one word, for example, if your site was say about apples or fruit, maybe apple would be good enough, great apple, tasty apple pie. You just want something which is going to make people say, I want to know more, I want to buy this product. That is all you're trying to do. Don't overcomplicate the meta description, your titles. You just want something which someone is going to want to read, click through, learn, or whatever you want to call it. And one of the things you should also remember, which is quite important, certain people go on websites to learn specific things. It could be, for example, let's say they're fixing a car. They might want to learn how to fix the problem of their engine. So they're going to read your site or part of your site to find out how to fix their engine. So we're not going to spend 2 hours reading the whole, if you've got a big long article, they might spend 50 seconds to a couple of minutes because they're just wanting to learn how do I do this engine problem, that's it. So don't get too worried if people move over your site too quickly in some cases, but always look to increase stay time either way. Okay, let's go into our keyword details. Sorry, I'll go keyword and I'll go into backlinking of it. Okay. And by the way, one other thing I was going to mention as well, with regards to traffic, Ahrefs can't predict the traffic, I'm afraid. It's a fantastic software, but the only people who can are the people who actually own the server, you or some software which deals with the server insight. It can give a good guess, but it can't, I'm afraid, predict what is going to happen in regards to traffic or whatever. I mean, for example, let's just say Ahrefs can't pick up on whatever keywords you're ranking for. I'm just going to make a keyword up that's you potential. Let's just say it doesn't know you're ranking at the moment for Tasty Bites dog food. I'm just making this word up. I don't really know much about it, but just say, for example, it doesn't know you're ranking for it. Let's just say this keyword is a fairly popular one in your country, your location. Let's just say you get in total 1,000 traffic from it per month. Ahrefs doesn't have any knowledge of it. You're ranking for that, so it doesn't put your traffic. So if someone reads your site, it's like, oh, you're only getting like 0 traffic, and you're like, no, I'm getting this. So you will have to, in some cases, provide proof for your search consoles or for software to show this is what I'm really making. But some people in general only rely on things like Ahrefs, SEMrush, and other softwares. That is just how things work, unfortunately, as a whole. So anyway, let's have a look at some of my keywords here. This as well, it doesn't actually show a full amount of keywords the site's ranking. The site itself is actually ranking for, at the moment, 60. It's not a gigantic jump, but it's just something to consider. So, according to that, Soft Fly with Rope at the moment is on position 19 according to Ahrefs in the American part of the search engine. It's up 12 spaces, that one's up 1 space. So we can use these things to tell us things we could focus on. We might decide, I want to really rank for, say, Butterfly Kodai, I think is how you say it, Koda Games. I want to rank for soft games, fly with ropes, Congregate Warlords. So I could attach links to this to improve the ranking stuff. I could do better on-page SEO regarding internal linking. That could then allow us to rank more easy for keywords, increasing our sales, our traffic, whatever you want to call it. So always look around for things. How can I improve this? What am I doing wrong? Always look at SEO in a broad way. There's always a better way to do something. It doesn't matter if you've been doing SEO for a year, 10 years, 100 years, whatever. There's always a better way to do something. Always be looking for something better. And when someone tells you something, it doesn't matter if it's your best friend, wife, husband, whatever. If they tell you something and you disagree with it, consider this. You might actually find out what they told you is actually right. So always check out people's ideas or fears. There's not really any limit to what you can potentially learn from different people. So let's go into the backlinking parts now. Haven't really done that much link building so well, so it's not going to be that high. So I got a link of that one, reason.com, which is a decent site. I got one on Blogspot, was basically like Google's own little platform, blogger, that kinds of stuff. But you can still see it's got quite good DR. DR is basically, in case you don't know, it's Ahrefs basically, if you like, how it justifies the quality of a page and mostly the backlinking, if you like, formula. The reason for why it's so much important is placed on backlinks on Ahrefs and many other softwares with regards to how Google itself works. I know people claim, backlinks don't work anymore, backlinks are terrible, whatever, that kind of crap. Backlinks itself are still a big ranking factor in how Google justifies the authority of a website. I know some people claim, they're white hat people, you just write a good content, you're guaranteed to rank, you're going to make millions or all that kind of crap. That'll probably never happen. You can potentially rank in regards to low-end keywords, things that no one cares about. It is definitely possible, but you still need backlinks to justify it or justify authority. Consider a backlink as like a thumbs up, if you like, in some way. Every backlink you get is like a thumbs up, someone saying great on you, good content, whatever. That's a simple way to understand the concept. But you should always be looking at different factors with regards to justifying the quality of, say, a backlink itself or other factor. We can learn things quite quickly, such as we look at a DR, UR, reference domains, linking domains, existing links, the traffic, the keywords, that kinds of stuff. We can also look at a date, anchor text, and these sort of things. So we can use this to teach us things quite quickly. And by the way, I know people always claim, Chinese links are terrible, Japanese links are terrible. That is a very stupid or bad idea to believe. You can get good quality links from China, Japan, Taiwan, Philippines, Russia, Moscow, whatever. You can basically get good quality backlinks from any country in the world. Don't always believe the concepts people come up with, Asian links are bad or whatever country is apparently bad. You get good quality backlinks from any country in the world. And a good example in regards to getting back to Japan itself has some incredibly intelligent CEO people who are often really smart at it. So if you apply the concept, some people claim, Japanese links are terrible or whatever, you're missing out a golden opportunity to get good quality links. For example, let's just say you were in the, animation niche. Japan itself has got basically most of the manga creators, meaning if you're going to assume the concept that, apparently all Japanese links are bad, you're going to miss out a golden opportunity to rank up your site for manga or animation themed keyword or keyword phrases. You're also going to miss out on a lot of opportunities to increase your sales, maybe join a Japanese affiliate thing, whatever you want. The only thing you'll have to remember, if you're going to try to rank in Japan or Japanese countries or Japanese speaking areas, you will have to consider that you will have to have some knowledge of Japanese. If you can't, you will struggle, because Japanese sites are very smart when it comes to stopping spam. So if you have no idea how to speak Japanese, you will struggle, I'm afraid. If you do struggle, you can pay someone who is able to speak Japanese or understand Japanese one way or another as a potential way you can get around it. If not, you will have great struggle when it comes to doing link building in the Japanese language, because Google itself, Google Translate and other things, they are generally not good enough to translate, I'm afraid, Japanese at the moment. You will definitely be able to do some things, but you will struggle, I'm afraid, at the moment. And I'll just do the reference domains and that should be good enough. I'll just do reference domains 2, then reference domains, and that should be enough. Just a moment, I haven't actually checked out a new reference domain that much so far. So what can we learn here? So I got quite a good one from Japan, I got quite a good one from Screencast, I got quite a good one from that site, orange.com, quite a big company, reason.com, Black Hat World, British Forces Discount. So I've got quite a lot of good quality links so far it's showing. And what I told you before, go with that things. Go with the DR to help you understand it. Go with the do follow references to help you again. Do follow link domains, traffic, links to target, do follow links, and so on. But don't worry too much in the whole concept. Lots of people come up, you've only got to have do follow. It is a good idea to have a mix of do follow. There's not really, I'd say, a right percent. It's like 50% do follow, 50% no follow. It sort of always depends in each niche or how you're trying to rank. You might find you can rank with 25 do follow, 30, 40, whatever. It just sort of depends on each niches as a whole. So that gives us some information quite quickly. We can learn. Let's see what we can learn here. So that just shows us again things about the volume, the keyword difficulty, and that kind of stuff. So it just tells us again what we already knew from the past things I've shown you. Let's just go with one more, and that should be good enough for what you need to learn in regards to. I could go into it more, but I just want to give you some semi-basic things or a wee bit more advanced things as a whole in this video. So let's go into it one more time, and it should be us good to go. Okay, let's check us out and let's check out the backlinks, and that should be good enough to go. So let's just show what we saw before, just a little bit different how it shows compared to the reference domains and that part there. It just looks a wee bit different. The reference domain, it does look, I'll be fair, a wee bit more attractive. I don't really personally have much of a preference between it. They both look pretty good, to be fair. So let's just say we lost some. What can we do here? So what can we do when we lose these domains? Well, we can do a lot of different things. We can contact the person like, so anyway, hey, so I saw you removed my link to this site. Would you be at all willing to re-add it? If you're polite to people, you're not too cheeky, not too arrogant, you can get the links brought back. Links itself can get removed for all kinds of reasons. It can be simply either doing a site update, so it could be only temporary. It could be someone's bought the website. It could be a new staff member took on so we don't know what's going on. It could be a range of issues, a range of reasons for why. But if you contact them in a polite way, you will quite likely get a link back. I've done it a few times. I don't do it that much because I kind of always have new links coming anyway, to be completely honest. But you can email, say something like that. As long as you're polite, you show respect, you will generally get an okay. Even if they tell you no, if you do things right enough, you might find in 1 month, 2 months later, you could contact them again, like, hey, we spoke before, you're really nice. Would you be willing for me to submit a guest post to you in regards to me making a quality article about, just for argument's sake, say PlayStation 5? Because you've got already sort of semi-working relationship set up, it might say to you, yeah, sure, sounds good. What can you do in regards to it? You say, hey, I can make a 2,000 word article covering the features and benefits. And then you've got a guest post for free. That's a potential way what you could do. Okay, so let's go into now as a final wee bit, let's go into backlinks. So, just shows you like we've shown before, just like that. Simple enough. And that's basically some of the features covered in kind of a simple sort of way to understand. Sorry, the video's a bit long, but that's really how things go. Anyway,